Howdy folks, I'm Ancient Atlantis Fertility, adeptly accessing aquatic areas.
I'm Amber.
And here are more aquatic areas for us to access. And I don't know why we're accessing them, because we're butterflies, and I don't think butterflies have little tiny mini scuba gear.
You're an Atlantean butterfly. You're from...
Atlantis is the sunken city.
Yeah, but like, if you've seen the movie Atlantis the Lost Empire...
I haven't.
Oh, well then we need to fix that. One of the best Disney movies made.
And folks, we have a live stream coming up on Friday. So for more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Letting My Boyfriend Starve Because I Wanted Vegan Food? I'm going to be honest, I do not think that I am in the wrong here, but let me explain my story. Let me clarify that I am not vegan. Meat isn't my favorite, and I barely eat it, but I'm not a vegetarian or vegan. But one of my favorite restaurants just happens to be a vegan restaurant. And yesterday, I wasn't in the mood to cook, which my boyfriend doesn't mind. We order takeout all the time. So I wanted to order, and I already had the app opened. That's when my boyfriend comes into the room, and I ask him if he wants anything from said vegan restaurant. And he gives me a genuine look of disgust and says these exact words. Are you like a vegan bee now, or what? To which I just answered that I'm not. I just wanted something from this specific restaurant, and I didn't understand why he was so mad. He got really upset for some reason and started saying how he hates vegan girls and their stupid food rules, which just makes me really uncomfortable because even though I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, I don't love meat. And I started wondering if it annoys him or something like that. I told him to stop, to which he just said that I better order from somewhere else because he's not eating some vegan garbage. I got mad and I told him that I'm ordering from a vegan place whether he liked it or not, and I placed my order. He got mad and tried to pull a guilt trip on me by saying stuff like, are you just going to let me starve? What am I supposed to eat now? I told him to make himself something, but he's been mad at me since. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. You offered to get him food from the vegan place. That was all you needed to do. You know, if he wants to eat somewhere else, he's a grown adult. He can buy or make his own food.
You know, all I am envisioning here is like the Black Knight from Monty Python, who has both of his arms and legs chopped off and has to hop around on the stumps in order to get it by, because apparently that's about as useful as this guy is. He can get his own food, assuming that he isn't in that position here. I do not understand what his deal is, right? Like, there are a lot of foods that are vegan that people eat every single day. Like, if you've ever eaten a piece of fruit, it's not like there's any meat in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what he's going on here about. Like, so what? OP wants to order some vegan food. And I think really what it boils down to here is that he is trying to ensure that she doesn't become a vegetarian or vegan, right? By shaming her from ordering from a restaurant here. So that's kind of the read that I'm getting. He's just trying to be like, you better not turn into a vegan because I'm going to be mad at you if you do.
Well, I think also he's one of those people who has a profound hatred for it, but he also wants OP to like abide by his food preferences because like she can't like things that he doesn't like, you know, because then he might have to fend for himself and adapt.
Yeah.
And, you know, OP, do you really want to be in a relationship where someone is going to like make you give up your favorite restaurants because they can't fend for themselves?
And that's a really good point and question. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And FlounderKind8267 says, Welp, I guess he doesn't care about you at all if that's his response. I would never say something like that to someone that I care about. So harsh for something so small. He sounds fragile, like his masculinity would be in question if he didn't eat meat every meal. And I mean, I actually do want to point out that like that insult was just completely out of line. Like, you don't insult your partner like this, right? And Angel Bluish Red says, I agree. If my partner throws a cuss word at me, it only means two things. He hates me and doesn't respect me. And Arrow Eagle AC says, you've been in a semi-long-term relationship with this guy, and he doesn't even know that this is one of your favorite restaurants? I mean, I think he's just kind of being a rude person. And Syrup Glitch says, if he's that pressed over one vegan meal, the issue isn't the food, it's his attitude. You're not his chef. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for locking myself in the bathroom with a burrito and pretending that I had a food poisoning just to get a break from my family for 47 minutes? So hi, I'm a 33-year-old female and the mom of 3 tiny lunatics, a 7-year-old male, a 4-year-old female, and a 2-year-old female. And I have reached the fakes her own digestive demise for peace era of parenting. My husband Chaz, yes, fake names, but it fits the man who once told me it can't be that hard to multitask a diaper change and a phone call. He's a decent guy with situational awareness of a traffic cone. It started when I told him that I might need some alone time because I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, and he replied, "Didn't you just have some alone time 2 days ago when you went to Target?" I was buying diapers and hemorrhoid cream, Chaz. Well, anyways, fast forward to Saturday. The house looks like a cross between a tornado and a Chuck E. Cheese, and the toddler is naked again. And someone spilled an entire family-sized box of Cheerios into the air vent. And I'm nursing a caffeine withdrawal headache because someone, Chaz, used the last of the espresso pods and replaced it with decaf. I hit my limit when the 4-year-old screamed, "You're a bad mommy," because I was cutting her banana wrong. I'm not proud, but I grabbed a pillow, a blanket, and a beefy, cheesy, completely undeserved burrito, and I walked into the bathroom and I declared, "I think I have food poisoning." And then I locked the door. For the next 47 glorious minutes, I sat on the floor and I ate my burrito in peace. I watched TikToks on silent, and I made myself cozy in a little bathroom cave. I even lit a little candle for ambience. I faked a few groans, and I flushed the toilet once for realism. I felt like an Oscar-worthy actress. But then, Chaz bangs on the door, yelling that he doesn't know how to handle all 3 kids at once, and that I'm being dramatic. I say nothing, silence is power. Eventually, I emerge, holding my stomach like I've just fought God and diarrhea. Later that night, I come clean, and Chaz says that I'm manipulative and that I abandoned him with the kids. My mother-in-law, who somehow got involved via FaceTime, because of course she did, called me lazy and disrespectful for faking an illness. But like, I cook, I clean, I work part-time from home, I keep everyone alive, and I haven't peed alone since 2018. So Reddit, am I the jerk for faking food poisoning and hiding in the bathroom to eat a burrito alone because I needed one singular moment of peace this weekend? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I don't think OP is in the wrong, but I also think that this marriage seems like it is not in a good place if you can't have honest conversations with your partner about your needs. Like, he is being willfully dense and, disregarding OP's needs, and that's not a sign of a partnership.
No. Well, it really isn't a sign of a partnership. The fact that OP felt like they had to go to this level to get some kind of break, I feel like was, pretty telling. And the fact that he can't take care of 3 kids alone for 47 minutes, like that says it all right there, right? He isn't a partner. He is a burden at this point in time. If he can't take care of the kids alone for any extended period of time, then he is not a partner. He is a burden. And he needs to learn how to be a good partner and actually pull his weight here, right? And like, yeah, kids are difficult, kids are hard, but that doesn't give you an excuse to push off all the work on your partner all the time, right?
Well, and he chose to have kids, I'm assuming, so...
Well, I think when I was reading in the comments, they didn't actually choose to have kids.
Oh.
They were on birth control, and she even had her tubes tied, and still got pregnant.
Well, he at least chose to be in their life.
Yeah.
Once you choose, like, he could have walked before the kids were there, and like some people aren't equipped to be parents, and that's their choice. But I feel like once you choose to be in the child's life, like, then you're kind of on the hook to be a parent.
Yeah. Well, this is just an unfortunate situation. And I mean, I certainly understand that they're both stressed out probably, and they may not have planned on having a big family like this. But unfortunately, sometimes things happen, and they've chosen.
Were these kids all? I thought they were different ages.
They are different ages.
So they had 3 different birth control failures?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's none of these kids were planned, and I feel bad for OP and their husband. But again, like this is life's a challenge sometimes, and it's good to give each other breaks. And I do think like if OP was on the breaking point here, that she needed to take some time for her mental health. I can understand why she did it. It's a difficult situation though.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say on this one. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. Plausible deniability.
I like the wheel's way of thinking.
The wheel wants a cheesy beef burrito as well. Also, I do want to talk about that. Like, unsanitary to eat a burrito in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not my first choice of places to eat burritos.
That's the part of the story that probably horrified me the most.
It's like, I hope that the bathroom's very clean. You're the jerk. After the first kid, you didn't see the red flags about Chaz not helping at all. Then you went on to have 2 more kids. That's just dumb. You did this to yourself. Learn how to use birth control before you have a 4th. Better yet, get your tubes tied. Tell your husband that they're his kids too, and he will start taking his fair share of time with them. If you're a stay-at-home mom, then again, you signed up for this. Get a job, put them in daycare, and go out with the girls sometime after work. And OP replies, wow, thanks so much for the unsolicited advice, Dr. Phil with a vengeance. Let's just clarify, for you and anyone else assuming that my uterus comes with a decision-making handbook. I was on birth control all 3 times, and surprise, I even had my tubes tied. Turns out that my body is less follows instructions and more defies modern medicine for sport. So no, I didn't just blissfully skip down the fertility path ignoring the red flags. I was dodging plot twists from my own reproductive system like I was in the Marvel movies. And as for, you did this to yourself. Listen, I didn't marry Chaz because I thought parenting would be a solo sport. I married the man who said that he would be a partner, not a 4th child. That's not on me. That's on the patriarchy and poor follow-through. And I do tell him that they're his kids, daily, sometimes hourly, usually while handing him a screaming toddler and walking away like a woman in an explosion scene. I also had jobs, I've had careers, I've had identities beyond chef, snack fetcher, and meltdown negotiator, but currently childcare costs are more than a mortgage. So yes, I stay at home because math. But hey, thanks again for the empowerment pep talk disguised as a condescending judgment. If you ever want to trade lives for a day, I would be more than happy to let you babysit my poor choices while I go cry in a Target parking lot in peace. So, what do you think of that?
I mean, it's a rough situation, but I think the person was being, of course, the original person was being condescending and wasn't being nice about it. You know? But yeah, it's rough, and I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the right thing in this kind of situation is because I mean, it doesn't seem like OP or Chaz really signed up to be a parent.
That's the problem is like they still brought the kids into the world and still like chose to parent them, and it's like once you make the choice to parent, like someone's gonna step up and parent, and it seems like OP is bearing all that burden. Chaz needs to also step up or get out.
Well, that's just it, and he needs to be an actual partner to OP. I don't think that OP's in the wrong for having a poor partner. I think that this is just the way sometimes life, the way the cards are dealt, Yeah,
well, and you can't blame someone for their choice in partners because so many times, we've seen so many Reddit stories where someone was one way for a long time and then they swapped it up all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Adopting a Dog After I Thought My Boyfriend Broke Up With Me? So my boyfriend was going through a tough time and he said he needed a break. He said that he was going to press pause on a relationship and go visit his family in Washington. I asked him how you pause a relationship because I don't understand how that works. He said that he needed some time to work on himself and asked me to respect that. After he left, I reached out to him a few times via text and I asked him to let me know if he arrived safe and to say hi to his mom for me. I received no response. I tried to call and I left a message asking if he had broken up with me. I come to the conclusion that he's ghosted me. And my friends agreed. I was bummed and my best friend recommended that I find something new like a hobby or a new show to watch that wouldn't make me think of my new boyfriend, so I decided to get a dog. My boyfriend is horribly allergic to pet dander, so I never even considered getting a pet before. However, since he broke up with me, I decided to get one. He's a senior dog from a shelter that needed rescuing. He's low energy and likes to lay with his head in my lap while I read, work, or watch TV. Well, after 6 weeks away, my boyfriend texted me that he was back and coming over tomorrow, which was yesterday, so that we could talk. I was shocked and I texted him back asking what he was talking about. He said that he was back and ready to unpause our relationship. He said that he would talk to me about everything the next day. I texted back asking what relationship, and he didn't answer. Well, yesterday he showed up and told me that he had done a lot of self-examination and that he was ready to move forward on his life plan. And he even wanted to talk about moving in together. Then he saw the dog and started freaking out. He asked me how I could get a dog when he knows that he gets sick. I told him that since he broke up with me, I didn't think that mattered. He said that he didn't break up with me. I said he ghosted me. He said that he communicated with me, telling me that he was pressing pause and visiting family. I said not answering text is ghosting. We argued in circles, and then he said that he had to leave because he was getting an allergic reaction, even though he was standing in the doorway, not inside. I feel like he broke up with me, and it was okay that I got a dog. He says that he never did, and therefore it's a horrible act of disregard to have gotten a dog. Which of us is right? My best friend said that I should break up with him because he's a jerk. I don't think that I should have to break up with someone that already broke up with me. If I break up with him, I'm basically agreeing with him that he didn't break up with me, and therefore I was a jerk for getting the dog, right? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, he ghosted you for 6 weeks. That is essentially a breakup. You know, it seems, I'm wondering if he was like out exploring his options and then decided that, oh, well, OP's my best bet, so I'll come back to her. Like, you don't get to unilaterally pause, quote unquote, pause a relationship for 6 weeks, completely radio silent, and then be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to walk back in here. Like, it shows how little he values OP if that's his approach.
You know what I think pause the relationship means? I think pause the relationship means that he was sleeping with other women.
That would be my guess as well.
Because he was saying that, oh, we're pausing the relationship. We're not together for the next 6 weeks, right? And then he gets to walk back into OP's life and unpause it like nothing has happened, right? So he gets to live guilt-free and cheat on OP while, going and, doing whatever, right? So, no, I think that OP's right. He did break up with her. You don't get to just unilaterally decide to pause a relationship, whatever that means, and then not be in the relationship for 6 weeks, right? Like, I think that this is an unreasonable thing, and OP is right. He ghosted her. Like, he didn't even take the time to explain, oh, hey, yeah, I mean, I just want to be low communication right now. I'll text you like once a day or something like that, right? And that would have been better than the approach that he had here. I just feel like this was extraordinarily disrespectful.
Yeah, well, and again, it shows how little he cares for OP if he can just ignore her for 6 weeks, not even confirm that, like, he's safe or anything. I mean, if I didn't hear from someone for 6 weeks and I was expecting to, or, thought I was going to, I'd be worried they were dead or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, OP wasn't clear about what pause the relationship even meant, and she assumed that he had broken up with her because what does it mean to pause a relationship anyways, right? You're breaking up with someone for 6 weeks and then going to re-engage with them.
Well, it was incumbent on him to clarify that. If he really wanted to pause, like, first of all, relationship pauses need to be mutual.
Yeah.
So him saying, like, obviously you can break up with someone, but if you're saying the relationship is on pause, like, the other person has to be in agreement that it's a pause and not a breakup, and there needs to be clearly defined terms for how long that pause is happening.
And what that pause even means.
And what it even means, exactly.
Right? Because, like, pause to me and to Amber apparently both means, like, oh, he's literally going out and seeing other women, right? But maybe he just meant, like, I just need a break from you for 6 weeks to sit in silence or something like that. And if that's the case, that's a little bit more acceptable of a type of situation, but that needs to be clearly explained and clearly communicated.
And a lot of times when people go on pause, like, unless he asked for absolute radio silence, then there should have been some amount of communication. He
Yeah.
owed it to OP as much as her partner, even if they were on pause, to like at least make some effort to communicate what he meant. And I think it once again shows how little he values her needs and her feelings.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, who doesn't respond to a friend even after 6 weeks?
Right.
Right? Like, if you spend 6 weeks not responding to a text or a call or something like that, I mean, that would give me pause about, like, what the relationship even meant at that point in time, right? So, I don't know. I don't think that OP's in the wrong here. I just feel like he probably wanted to cheat and was using this as an excuse, and now is upset because he stacked his deck badly.
Yeah.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why did the goldfish annoy all their friends?
The goldfish annoyed all their friends because they thought that it was funny to annoy their friends, and so they did it by pulling gold coins out from behind their ears. But turns out it was their scales, and the friends were pretty annoyed by that because they didn't like their scales being pulled off by their friend.
They always had something to carp about. And today, this is Fish Are Friends Not Food Week, and also National Onion Ring Day.
Ooh. Make sure to go find some onion rings. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy special Sunday, folks. I hope it's as special for you as it is for me. And you know what makes it special? You do. And Amber does too.
And Brian does too.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it on like entitled partners.
You can't just ghost your partner for 6 weeks and expect them to still be waiting for you.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big common sense thing. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!